Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you with Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, number 32. This is part 3 of the Bats Out of Hell. And I gotta tell you, in my ignorance, I really slept on a lot of what Robert Venditti wrote. But as more modern comics, like, yeah, this is what, January 2018, but more recent comics, the more boring they get. I've been going back and reading these, and anytime I see Venditti's name on it, I'm almost to the point where I just buy it. And, you know, I don't like to impulse buy like that, but guy's a damn good writer. And let's jump into this and explain why. So again, this is part of the Dark Knights tie-in, and we'll kind of jump past that. And we'll get past, what's his name, Guy Gardner, Kyle, and John, and jump directly into Green Lantern. He's taken his niece and nephew on the only type of roller coaster ride that Hal Jordan could give them. And just really sweet idea. But what he says is, we're here. Here where? My favorite place. Can you read what the sign says? Coast City, the city without fear. All the scary things that have happened here, Coast City chose not to be afraid. It's easy to think that superheroes inspire people. But as a superhero, believe me when I say the people of Coast City inspire me. And since you two live here, that means you inspire me too. You never have to be afraid because I'll always protect this place. No fear. No fear. And I love how it just says Coast City, best city in the world. And it really sums up who Hal Jordan is. That's why, what was it? In the early 90s, they kind of did a secret origin, and it was called Emerald Twilight, or Emerald Dawn, or something like that. Emerald Dawn 1 and 2. And it really irked my girth that they turned Hal Jordan into this slacker alcoholic who's working off a DUI who accidentally kills his friend or something like that. That's not Hal Jordan. This is Hal Jordan. I'm kind of glad that they retconned that when Jeff Johns, you know, did the rebirth after when Hal became Parallax, which everybody I think hated. I wasn't old enough to comprehend what was going on at the time, but as I went back and read it, I was like, man, that was some crap. But at least, again, it allowed Jeff Johns to come back and really invigorate Green Lantern and show people, you know, a character that they give a damn about. You know, because he was the one that reinvigorated Green Lantern, the Flash, and Aquaman during the New 52. His run on there was pretty damn good. But anyway, it says Coast City, greatest city in the world. Today, it's in a world of trouble. And I like how it shows the sign that he showed his family is torn apart, and it shows the type of threat that Batman Who Laugh poses. So Bats Out of Hell, Part 3, None More Black. Writer, Robert Venditti. Artists, Ethan Van Sciver and Liam Sharp. Colors, Jason Wright and Dave Sharp. And then here's everyone else working on the book. And again, as I said, if anybody knew who was the creator of Green Lantern, let me know, because I've looked it up once and it just eludes me. So after that, we get this really gorgeous dynamic page of the Dawnbreaker just smacking the crap out of Hal. And then, because the Dawnbreaker's power can absorb light, so as Hal's in this cave, he's in pitch black. The dark won't save you, Dawnbreaker. Then he hears these voices. I've waited so long to be alone with you, Hal. Fear always finds its place. Your crimson will mingle in the blight of the lake of Ysamult. I trained you to be better than this, Jordan. Mine. So here are these voices. For the long-time Lantern fans, you'll understand. We'll get into it in a moment. I just wanted to point that out. So I like how darkness. Hal smiles. Something amuse you? You little Bruce, if that's what you call yourself in whatever sewer of a universe you came from, you are funny. And I mean, good God, look at the artwork. I mean, this is what you expect in a comic book. That is just flipping awesome. Hal goes, you think I fear you. You bring me here. You show me Coast City attack, play a few spooky voices, and you think that'll scare me? Our Batman is smarter. All you've done is fire me up. And so Hal, being resourceful as he is and working through his fear, just knows exactly what to do in order to fight this evil Green Lantern. And what I like is how he says, you're getting distracted. Guy, Kyle, John, even the Guardians, they weren't enough to stop me from avenging my parents' murder. Missed again. What makes you think you are? Because, Bruce, you can never fly with me. And just boom. And that is gorgeous. And it shows that Hal, even though Batman's the great tactician who has taken down the Justice League, if you've read Tower of Babel, shows that Hal still has a trick or two up his own sleeve. Now there's a... Okay, here we go. So they get into these fights, and you think, oh, okay, black panels, but because that's what the Dawnbreaker's power is, we get a black panel. Wham! This is for Guy. And we see a weathered Atrocitus. Black. Wham! And Kyle. And I think that's supposed to be Sinestro. And he goes, and John. And then we see the skeletal remains of Hector Hammond. And just the fight just goes on. And I like how Venditti just knows how to hit the right emotional resonances when you're reading this. He goes, you stepped up to the mic with your emo crap. I came to rock. Then by all means, Hal, play. And here, because Bruce, again, even though Hal has a couple of tricks up his sleeve, if you guys remember the Dawnbreaker review or if you've read the comic, Bruce's willpower was so strong when he got the ring that he basically hacked the ring into his own will and turned it evil. And here, he conjures up Hal's greatest fears. Parallax, Hector Hammond, Atrocitus, Larfleeze, Sinestro. And those were the voices we read at the beginning. And what I like is Hal doesn't let it faze him. Instead, gorgeous paneling. It was okay. Who's first? And then, no fear doesn't mean you never feel afraid. It means you fight through the fear. Now, with all that said, as strong as Hal tries to be, we end up at Challenger's Mountain. We see the Red Death, the Drowned, the Merciless, and now the Dawnbreaker. What does all this mean? How is he able to get the upper hand? Well, again, just like last issue, I'm not going to spoil that. I want you guys to read this Bats Out of Hell tie-in. Again, I'm not a big event guy, but Dark Knight's Metal at the time just hit right. And after, leaving it alone for a few years, I went back, and my buddy Christopher hooked me up with this series, and this was definitely one of the better ones of the run, the Bats Out of Hell, because it gives you more insight into the evil Batman. I highly, highly recommend it, especially this issue if you are a huge Robert Venditti fan like I am. I've been going back, and anytime I see copies of Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, I grab them, because I feel like Venditti was definitely the next logical choice after after Jeff Johns, and then of course Grant Morrison's Green Lantern series thereafter was as equally awesome. So if you've enjoyed this book, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and pick up a copy, and if you can, get the entire Bats Out of Hell run. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little lantern bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love hearing your feedback and talking with y'all down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.